So here's the commercial again. This is with Megyn Kelly, Steve Moore, and Mike Tobin, I believe, commenting on the merits of the ad, which is really what this is all about. Is does it resonate with America or not, and is this what we as a country want to become bailout nation? So I hope you enjoyed it. And to Megyn Kelly, yes, unscripted. Ford didn't tell me what I could or couldn't say. I simply said what I felt when I responded to the question, what I believe to be true for this country, for the best interest of this country.
America's king of the road is getting Ford tough with its rivals and Washington in a hard-hitting new ad. An advertising campaign that actually rips the Band-Aid off an old wound. Mike Tobin live in Chicago on this one. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Megyn, it looks like they're poking that old wound with a fresh ad. Ford is capitalizing on the fact that it was the only one out of the big three automakers that didn't take bailout money. You've probably seen this ad format by now. A regular car buyer who's suddenly thrust in front of a sea of reporters who are peppering that individual with questions. But what makes this ad unique is it seems to slam not only the competitors, but the administration that gave the bailout money.
I'm Kristen. We're going to head on into the interview.
Chris, was it buying American important to you? I wasn't going to buy another car that was bailed out by our government. I was going to buy from a manufacturer that's standing on their own, win, lose, or draw. That's what America's about, is taking the chance to succeed and understanding when you fail that you got to pick yourself up and go back to work. Ford is that company for me.
Now, a Ford spokesman says this is not an attack ad, just real comments from an average car buyer. Chrysler and GM aren't touching this thing with a stick right now. One spokesperson said, deep off the record, that this is a rough and tumble business and you have to roll with it. Chrysler's transferred its debt over to banks, so it doesn't owe the government directly anymore. GM also says that it's paid back the loan, but the government still owns 500 million shares, about a 33% stake in the automaker at $22.58 a share, Megyn.
All right, Mike, thank you. So how's this likely to play with consumers? Steve Moore is a senior economic writer for the Wall Street Journal, owned by the same parent company as this network. Steve, thanks so much for being here. So,
hi, Megyn.
What do you make of it?
I love the ad. It makes me want to go. I don't know about you. It makes me want to go out and buy a Ford truck or a Mustang. I mean,
why? Why does it have that effect on you?
Because I think it kind of tugs at your patriotic heartstrings. I hate the fact that these companies, Chrysler and GM, took government money. And by the way, I think a lot of it still has not been repaid and may never be repaid. And so I think the fact that Ford went on their own, they turned down government money, was a very patriotic thing to do, was very pro-taxpayer, and I think it's great that they're celebrating this, and shame on these companies, whether it's banks or insurance companies or car companies who came to Washington, tin cup in hand, to take money from taxpayers.
How much do these other companies still owe us, the taxpayers? Because I've heard different numbers. You know, I read it was $14 billion, then I heard it was more than that, then I heard it was zero. I don't know how much they owe us.
Well, they didn't pay any interest on the quote loans. We know that, and a lot of the money still has not been repaid. I don't know the exact answer to your question. As you know, Megyn, they were paid somewhere in the neighborhood of $70 to $80 billion in loans and grants and bailout money. By my calculations, there's still somewhere between $5 and $10 billion that has not been repaid. And the question is, Megyn, will they ever repay it?
Right. And Ford, meantime, is trying to tap into this. It's almost like a Tea Party ideology of we don't like bailouts. You rise or fall on your own merit. You know, stand on your own 2 feet or fall. You know, if you must. Do you think that's going to resonate? Even the people who don't like the Tea Party, do you think that message resonates?
You know, I think it will. I think the American people do have a sense that Ford was the real company that kind of came out of this whole you know, economic turmoil the best. There's a feeling that the fact that they didn't have to dig into taxpayers' wallets was the correct thing to do, that they were able to weather this terrible economic storm without taxpayer money. So yeah, I think it will, for people who really believe in the idea of capitalism and free enterprise, that you don't have corporate welfare, I think it will tug at people's heartstrings and maybe even get them into those showrooms.
They claim, this guy Chris, that the answer was unscripted. Really?
I love that. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but, you know, this is a guy, you know, when I give my speeches, I talk around the country, I always tell people, I've been saying this for months. You want to do the patriotic thing? Buy a Ford. I always buy American cars. I think, you know, it's my patriotic duty. Everybody can buy whatever car they want, but I always buy American.
Wow.
But you know what? My next car, I promise you, is going to be a Ford.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you what, I drove a Ford Probe when I was in law school. It was hot.
I'd like to see that.
Thanks. Thanks, Steve.
See you soon.
All right.
And there it is. Hope you enjoyed it. And yes, it's true. Unscripted, unedited, off the cuff, 2 hours of interviews, and that's the 30 seconds used. And I'm very proud to say that Ford had the courage to put that out on the air. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.